Do you regard black magic as being purely fictitious, or is there some truth in it?
Some truth. 100% truth. There is nothing fictitious about black magic, in any way whatever. It is a fact. It is a fact which has existed for several thousand years. I mean, when we talk about black magic, we are talking about Satanism, necromancy, alchemy, witchcraft, the worship of Satan, the worship...
Welcome back, people. We're back at it straight in with the second part of Occult 101, breaking down this English language for what it really is. And today we are going to be focusing primarily on Gematria, and I'm going to try and make this stuff as clear as possible for everyone. Now, the last video we touched on the fact that the English the English language was standardized at 26 characters after the fall of the Roman Empire. However, what we didn't ask is why the number 26. Out of all the numbers, why was that particular one chosen to be the specific amount of letters in the English language? Well, it has everything to do with scripture, of course, much like everything else. But this 26 relates specifically to our relationship with God, or the divine. Now, as you can see here in the Bible, Genesis 1:26, man is created in the 26th verse, and this is the building block of what we're going to be working from. But first of all, what I must note, this is of great importance, and is that the 26th prime number is 101, and I've touched on primes before and their importance, but this is the one you need to know for now. So the 26th prime number is 101, which is 11, okay, because you just take the 0 out, and we all know that 11 is a master number for a variety of reasons. One of the most important being that the 11th Sephiroth on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, and I've broken this down already in my video on Crowley and the AA, and I also show you how Darth Vader from Star Wars represented the 11, or the 11th Sephiroth, Darth. And if you're interested in learning about that, then please go back and watch that video. But yeah, 26 prime is 101, 101 is 11, and it's a master number, so we've got that relation right there straight away. So what do we have? We have man created in the 26th verse of Genesis. Now, the Hebrew God of the Old Testament, Yahweh, which was really Saturn, but we will stick with Yahweh for now. This was the unspeakable name of God, this right here, and it was called the Tetragrammaton, and each of these individual letters in Hebrew sum to 26. So we have Yod, Hey, Vav, and Hey. Again, it reads left to right, okay? 10, 5, 5, 6. You can see the Hebrew alphabet here. This is the totality of the Tetragrammaton, 26. Not only that, but if we write out God in English in the most basic cipher, this also sums to 26 in the alphabetic order, where A is 1 and Z is 26, as you can see right here. Whilst body sums to 62, which is the inversion. 26, 62, you see that? So these numbers obviously resonate with the same frequencies because they have the same digits. So with that being said, we have man, who is created in the 26th chapter, and both the God of the Old Testament and the title God have the same numeric value, which is 26, along with body, that which God created out of an image of himself. Remember, it was apparently God who made our body in his image, in the image of the 26, you see. And you'll see these inversion numbers playing out a lot, which is a further testament to the dual nature of our reality, to be completely honest with you. So before we continue here, let's just stop and establish what we know. So evidently there is a clear relation here, numerically, between man, the body, and God. But we're not done. As you can see here, the New Testament has a total of 260 chapters. Remove the 0, that is another 26. And not only that, but the Greeks, who were, if you didn't know, sorry to spoil it for you, but the authors of the New Testament, also sums to 26. The Greek mystery schools, I mean by that. But yeah, Greek also sums to 26. I mean, coincidence? Maybe. Let's continue. Remember I said 26 relates to the connection between man and God. If we check our own body, you can see it has 206 bones. Take the 0 again, so 26. Much like how bones sums to 26. And the two appendages that are responsible for holding up our body, both have 26 bones in them, which is our feet, or foot. Now we can take this idea even further. Corinthians 6:19 states that the body is a temple, and that is a common belief amongst many religions. However, if we look here, we can see that temple also sums to 26. I mean, that alone should be enough to show you here that there is definitely something, going on. Anyway, let's press on. Some more relevant hits with the 26. So, following the belief that we're gods and we're made in God's image and God creates, so in turn we create. We create with our hands, which have 5 fingers on each, which together sum to 10. Or the tetrases, which was the god according to Pythagoras. So it seems fitting that both hands and the particular digits that make the hands unique, that being our opposable thumbs, both, as you can see, sum to 26. Again, bringing us back to this relationship with God, the 10 fingers, and the 26, the numerical value, which we now know represents our physical body, or for lack of better words, our temple. So in the previous video we discussed how language conditions our reality based on the vibrational frequencies that are produced when we speak. In turn, each word carries an energetic weight that serves to shape the very foundations of the reality that we experience. Hence, if that's perverted, then our reality is perverted. And the English has been perverted, let me tell you that. Hence the term spelling. Now, with what I've just shown you in mind, if 26 relates to our temple, then it only seems fitting that both read and spell sum to 26 as well, as you can see here. We read spells in the form of sentences which corrupt our temple. All 26 related. Spells, read, temple, i.e. body. Now, what I really want to get into this presentation is how the 26 is used as an archetype to subvert our consciousness and our higher self. First of all, we need to ascertain what an archetype actually is. So, an archetype can be defined as the original pattern or model from which all things of the same kind are copied, or which they are based. A model of first form, a prototype. Okay, so unbeknownst to you and the majority of the population, the powers that be have been using archetypes to manipulate the vast majority of people since the beginning of time. And it's not difficult to see once your eyes are clear. No matter what class you're born into, no matter what geographical location you live in, archetypes seem to transcend all types of cultural barriers. And consequently they're seeped into the very foundation of our consciousness. But archetypes are there to distract you from your true self and to convince you that what you see on TV or what you read in a book or what you see online is what you actually want to be. And as time has passed, these archetypes have transformed from a pantheon of deities who had temples erected in their veneration to people trying to live by the laws of these particular deities and actually manifest them through their own actions. Now we're in the 21st century, we have this sort of same relationship going on, but it's with the celebrities now. So celebrities who have millions of followers online, and people are vicariously living their life through them, hanging on to their every word, trying to emulate every single thing they do. I mean, just go on Instagram. It's not difficult to see. It's quite sick, actually. And this relationship between each archetype can kind of be identified as a type of macrocosm / microcosm, and what that means is essentially that the part reflects the whole, or, you know, as above so below. That's another axiom that talks about the macrocosm and microcosm relationship. So the heavens reflect earth, or God reflects man, or these so-called celebrities apparently reflect us, even though they're nothing like us. I mean, they're normalized to make you feel like close to them and whatnot. That's why they've got all these magazines like Heat and Closer to make you feel closer to these celebrities, give you all these stories about the fake shit that's happening in their life, so you can be like, oh yeah, that happens to me too. I'm just like XYZ who's a celebrity. I'm okay. Yeah, you're not okay. Stop basing the success and happiness of your life on what you see on Instagram or on the TV, because that is not the way forward. I can assure you. It's a very circular, very circular way of thinking that is only going to lead to you being taken away further from your true self. We literally, well, not me personally, but as a race, like, humans invest their energy into the stories that these celebrities have. They invest their money, they invest their time. People genuinely follow celebrities around the world. Like, I can't fathom that. If you knew what your favourite A-list actors and actresses did behind closed doors, you'd probably feel a little bit differently about them, yeah? So with this in mind, archetypes, let's take a look at some more 26s, bearing in mind now what we've already established regarding God and the body. So here we have heaven, which sums to 26. What a great archetype heaven is, huh? Give a bunch of people a load of rules and say, yeah, there's this place that you can get to, you know, but you gotta be good. You gotta act heavenly. You gotta follow all these rules. Now you've just bred a whole culture of people that are trying to act in a certain way because you've told them there's this magical place that exists in the sky. Like, come on, man, fuck out of here. And they say heaven's a mind state, right? You ever heard of that? J. Cole said it at the beginning of the cutoff. Makes sense, right? Now, these ones are really important here. So, sun god Abraham and Adam all sum to 26, and this is gold, and I'll explain why. All monotheistic religions, that being Christianity, Judaism and the Islamic doctrine, are all based on astrological principles, okay? In this case, that being sun worship, and that is why we have the Holy Bible. Holy originating from the word helios, which means sun in Greek, and Bible comes from the word bibliosis, which means paper, so sun, paper. Both the Torah and the Quran both have the sound Ra in them, R-A. Ra, the son of Osiris, was the sun god of Egypt. And to understand how the same solar archetype is displayed in the three main religious texts, all you have to do is cross-reference the numbers and the words, and you can spot all of the similarities. So how fitting that the forefather of all Abrahamic religions is 26, as is sun god and Adam, the supposed primordial man. Well, Adam Kadmon is a primordial man of Kabbalah, however, obviously we have Adam and Eve. So again, archetypes, stories and narratives that have controlled the way the world thinks for a very long time. Now, chaos and devils also sum to 26. Now, the world is made from quote-unquote chaos, and you know the powers that be operate off the axiom order out of chaos. And who is typically seen as the main agent of chaos, the opposing force to God, is the devil, which also sums to 26. Lo and behold, following this, Babylon also sums to 26. And this is important because we spoke in the previous video about how our language has been usurped, and we now speak in nothing but spells and hexes. And this began around the Babylonian times, and they tell us quite clearly in the Bible, in the Tower of Babel, babbling, that's where the word comes from. If you're not familiar with the story, please do look it up and look into the spell of Kingu as well. Especially now we're dealing with London, or Babby London, which is what it should be called, which is set to be the centre out of the three city-states, which is why there was an Arch of Bow in Trafalgar Square opened in 2016 for 3 days that just seemed to go unnoticed by everybody. Boris Johnson unveiled it, yeah.
Well, the Arch of Triumph was recreated using similar techniques to 3D digital printing from marble donated by the Egyptian government. After 3 days in London, it will go on display in several other cities around the world, including New York and Dubai.
Baal, the Canaanite deity that they used to sacrifice children to, yeah, and then they moved it around the world to Times Square and a few other places, just harvesting the dog shit out of us. Also notice Times Square and Trafalgar Square, both TS, numerically that equals 39. It's the inversion of the 93 and the sun. They say the sun's 93 million miles away, but we'll get to that in a different video. But if you didn't know, London operates as a sort of quasi-autonomous, with a sort of quasi-autonomous status similar to that of the DC and the Vatican, you know, with their own laws, police and judicial system. So let's crack on with this. Sports 26. One of the biggest distractions to take us away from ourselves, from our true God nature, is by sports. You know, we've got people out there literally dedicating their lives to become professional athletes. People out there trying to be the next Kobe, the next Ronaldo, the next Messi. But what you don't know is that these people are literally birthed for these roles. You know, they're placed in positions so you want to be them, so you try and act like them, like I've been saying for this whole time. And isn't it funny, I noticed this here, and this has always intrigued me. We're just talking about Baal, right? The Archer Baal. Ball games, Baal games, ball, Baal. Sounds suspiciously similar, you know? And then that got me thinking about the NFL. And then the Nephilim. NFL, Nephilim. Yeah, I mean, I know there's more there, and that's not coincidence. I'll get into that another time. That was just some thoughts that came to me while I was doing this. Also, remember I said in the last video about patriarch symbolism and the phallus. Probably the biggest archetype running on the world right now is the destruction of the sacred feminine and the sheer dominance of not only male energy and male figures in political settings and settings of power, but just everybody acts in general. I mean, we're all very, very, very in tune with our base and lower self, to say the least, and the riots and whatnot that have been gone on over time pretty much prove that, to be honest. And that all comes from that base chakra, that Mars energy, that male dominance, that energy of anger, which can be used positively, but when used as an archetype, how it's been used now, we become consumed by it and we just live in this base chakra. Some of us might make it up a few chakras to the stomach, but we eat so much shit that by the time we get there, we've probably got cancer. So none of us ever make it to the heart, really. It's sad. Now, one more thing I'm just going to have to touch on before I wrap this up, because it's going on a bit longer than I suspected. So we're going to talk about the Queen, okay? As you can see in here, Queen sums to 26. So does Royal, so does Crown. Now, if you think the Queen is somebody that just sits there with absolutely no power, you're wrong. The Queen is a bad bitch, right? I don't play no fucking games with the Queen. And people know that, okay? The people on the inside know that. Her Aryan, I mean, I'm not going to go into the depths of her reptilian lineage, but just know that her Germanic Aryan Windsor bloodline is drenched in SRA and paedophilia. Look up Mountbattenhorn. He was a known pedophile. That's who they just named that child after. When Kate came out wearing the same dress from Rosemary's Baby, holding the little baby, I don't know what the kid's name is, but his middle name is Mountbatten something. Google Mountbatten, known pedophile. They're all pedophiles. I don't know how else to put this. The royal family are pedophiles, okay? Look up the Kamloops operation. See how Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip took 10 Aboriginal children from a school in Canada and they were never seen again. You know, why on earth did the royal family hire a butler that was arrested for having a paedophile ring? Why did they knight known pedophiles like Jimmy Savile? Why is there a video of a naked man climbing out of one of the top windows of the palace? Why was Buckingham Palace closed down and boarded up with a sill taken off before these riots happened in London? For the first time ever, by the way. That's never happened before. The Queen and their entire bloodline is a very deep topic, especially when we start getting into Canterbury and break that word down. Can't, ER, Berry, ER meaning Elizabeth Regina, her actual title. If you know about Canterbury, then you know how deep this rabbit hole goes. But let's get back to the 26. So crown royal queen, all sum to 26. No surprise there. Also, one more thing, check this. You see that here? It says coronation dates. Her coronation dates were the 6th of February and the 2nd of June. Think about that for a sec. The 6th of February, which can be written 26 or 62, and the 2nd of June, which can be written 62 or 26. So both dates of the Queen's coronation were written 26. Need I say more, people? Need I say more? Have I convinced you enough yet? Huh? And apparently the Pindar is the true father of Prince William. I don't know about that, but that man is so ugly that it might be true. If you don't know about the Pindar, I'm going to put a definition on the screen now. Notice how they say that the Pindar must always be male as well. That's another head nod to that phallus worship right there. So I need to begin to wrap this up now because we really are going too long. I'm going to have to make a part 3, which I didn't expect. So, yeah, 26 AD. Jesus Christ was baptized by John the Baptist. That's another reference to the 26 yet again. 26 AD is known as the Day of Atonement. Yeah, 26 AD, Day of Atonement. Now, to bring this full circle, our divinity not only has been hidden from us, but we've been perpetually lied to and sold a pack of bollocks. The powers that be have done their utmost to ensure that we are conditioned to believe that money is synonymous with power and success. But what this does is produce a fear-greed dichotomy that we live in today, where we just live solely to gain material possessions, and it's a never-ending rat race for that new house, the new car, the new clothes. The more we buy, the better we feel. But when we have these nice things, we don't feel like failures as humans, you know. Rat race, human race, rat race, human race, human race. Yeah, all racing it. Can you see what they do? As long as we're living under this current paradigm, we will continue to be divided, not only by culture and race, but by wealth as well. And while the rich get richer, the poor get, well, you know the rest. You know the rest. But with this in mind, doesn't it make sense that dollar, notes, capital, mullah, pounds, bank, funds and riches and many, many more also sum to 26 or 62? There's more, but I think I've proven my point here. So realistically, what we're seeing here is the corruption of the money. Money is the root of all evil, hey? That's what they say. Money corrupts not only ourselves, but our relationship with the divine. And this ties in with the Saturn moon matrix, hence the prefix of MO at the beginning of money. So we should really say the Moony. But that's for another video. That's for another video. But that's why they say money is the root of all evil, because it really, really does erode your connection with the divine, you know. And also this might bring a new meaning on why I've called this session and series Occult 101. Why is the number 101 picked for introductory learning courses throughout colleges? Because it's the 26th prime, and to learn and become good at something or god at something, just take out that 10. You have to start with introductory classes. So 101 is the start to becoming good or god. See how they do that? Like I said, money is the root of all evil, people. And just look what that equals. 119. You recognize that number from anywhere? Read it backwards. Part 3 coming soon, people. I appreciate the support. Thank you for the 100 subs. Much love, man.